How's it going, everybody? My name is AK, back again with another tactical Call of Duty video, and in today's video we're taking a look at Crossroads Hardpoint, and essentially I'll be going through rotations, holds and breaks for all of the hills so that your team can master Crossroads Hardpoint. So if you haven't already checked it out, there'll be a link in the description to my playlist that has all of the other hardpoint maps, all of the control maps and all of the S&D maps as of now, and with season 1 that actually came out today as of recording this video, yeah, there'll be more maps added there as and when they get added to the competitive rotation. So keep your eyes out for that, and yeah, let's jump straight into it. So we're going to start off with P1 if you're spawning out for P2. So if you're spawning on this side, essentially your job throughout this whole of the first hardpoint is to be flip the spawns for P2. You want the blue side spawns just because you want P2 control. So essentially what we normally do is we send maybe 2 people round P1. You just set up on the box headies, watch the push up to the barrels here or the back tires. Essentially your job here is just to try and get a few kills, try and contest the hill if you can. If you can get the kills, that's good. I'd probably have player 3 with a Krig, something long range, because quite often you get people set up on the back sandbags. It's quite a power position on this hard point. So yeah, essentially if you can try and get them off and essentially just keep this hill time scrappy, if you can get something from it, great, but if not, don't really worry. And then what I do is send 2 players either through the top bridge, a bit like if you've watched my S&D strat, the double stack top bridge strat that I talk about in my Crossroads S&D video, so go check that out if you want. But essentially you're going to want 2 people to either push top bridge, to then push through the back spawn and get the back spawn for your team. They can come around, shoot people in the back over here, sorry, they'll be in blue, shoot players in the back over here, and essentially try and get the other team to spawn out over here. But if not, if there's nothing there, they can push down bottom ice as well and just sort of make a push around the back crates and again lock down this spawn all the way back here, so that for P2 you've got the close favourable spawns. So once you've got the spawns, if you do manage to flip them, essentially the rest of P1 is going to be wanting to hold these spawns. Now, you can give up a bit of hill time, sure, send 1 or 2 players to try and contest or just keep the enemy off it, I suppose. But yeah, essentially your whole job is going to be to protect these spawns. So make sure that you have someone watching the ice side push, because chances are the moment the spawns are flipped, they're going to want to do the exact same thing. They're going to want to push ice or push top bridge to try and flip the spawns back in their favour. So sure, have a setup something like this. Have someone in the far back watching the ice push, someone watching the top bridge push. Again, they might push 2 or more players top bridge or round back ice because, as I said, the spawns are important. People are going to be pushing for them. So maybe sacrifice one of your players in hill just to sort of sit maybe on the back ledge or somewhere, essentially just to help the other 2 out with making sure that you can hold the spawns and stop the enemy from breaking them. Now, if you spawn on the favourable side for the P2 just off the bat, essentially what you're going to want to do is you want to make sure that you can hold the spawn. So don't flood everyone in hill and give them an easy push through. So you have control, they have to push. So sure, send someone into top bridge. All they have to do is just sit there. They can watch the push if someone does, and then have someone push out ice maybe. They can always wrap through the mid and try and get a bit of contest in the mid if they need to. But essentially your sole job is to keep the P2 spawns and not give them up. So P1's always going to be scrappy. No one really is going to get a lot of time off it. And even if they do go 30, 40 points up on P1, you've got the spawns for P2. So if you can execute a good hold on P2, you can more than make that back and then push your lead even further. Now moving on to P2, what holds do we like to do? We normally like to have someone set up in the top bridge room, just because it's quite a common place for them to push. Maybe even 2. If you have someone sat here, they can just sort of play the intel and they can jump out the window if they need to. If someone here say calls that there's a push ice, all they can do is jump out the window, get some kills, and then focus on the top window push, because really most people either push from the front down ice or a long push round the back P1. So really, if you have someone set up on the back sandbags, they can watch your entire sort of backside P1 side of the map. They can watch all the pushes there, the inside push, and even if they can't kill them, they can at least call them out. Player 3 can turn around, pick up that kill if they need to. So it's all about the teamwork really, yeah, and then just have someone set up in hill, and this should give pretty much everything covered. Obviously you've got the players here that can always jump back and help heal if someone does push ice or top bridge. So yeah, you've got a nice bit of everything covered. It's quite dependent on player 1 making sure that they can just play the head glitch, but give them a Krig, something long range, they can set up there and they can do quite nice. Now for what we've played, I wouldn't necessarily say there is a best way of breaking this, but whatever you do, you're going to want to hit as a team. Don't push one at a time. I say this every video, but if you push one at a time, you're just going to get picked off. If you push as a team, you can get trades and you can yeah, push up your map pressure. So something like a triple hit top and maybe 1 hit to the side or something like this. If this player can get set up and maybe try and take player 1 off the head glitch, back sandbags if there's someone there, or say they're on the back tank, try and pick them off on the back tank. But yeah, essentially you're going to want a lot of your players to push at the same time together, so that say there's 3 people top, this player comes in, he dies, player 1 gets the trade there, player 4 kills that, player 3 comes out, you end up on top. You see what I mean? It's all about getting the trades and trying to get that map pressure. So if it's early enough and you get that map pressure, sure, hit out the back, try and flip the spawns. If there's, I'd say, more than 30 seconds on the clock, sure, go flip the spawns. If there's less than 30 seconds on the clock, play for the hill pressure, but make sure that you send one of your players to wrap back, because you do want to keep the spawns this side. Moving on to P3. So moving on to P3, what kind of strats do we like to do? So we like to have someone set up on the inside. You can actually sit close up against this wall here, and there's actually the door. Let me just put that in yellow. The door's sort of like there. You can sit close in this corner. You can watch the push, and also watch if there's any pushes round to the back spawn. So that's quite a nice little spot to watch. We'll have someone set up sort of up on the debris bit in the middle. They can watch the inside push from the mid door. Then we have someone set up on the top bridge, watching the top bridge push. And then someone sort of hovering the back spawn. Their job is to sort of keep an eye on the back ice, but as well anchor the spawns. They can rotate round if player 1 calls that someone pushes the back, and their job is to essentially lock down the back spawn for your team and yeah, keep your bridge push nice and clear. So a nice setup like this should allow you to get a decent amount of time on P3, but obviously if you're playing against a good coordinated team, they're going to be hitting things together. So yeah, essentially your players are going to need to be a bit free to move, willing to help out in the other team. Maybe if you're jumping out the hard point for 10 seconds to keep the spawns or something, that's fine. Go for it. It's not about every second. You want to make sure that you've got the spawns so that you can rack up the big time moving on. But yeah, get a nice setup in this hill and you should do quite well. Now when it comes to breaking this hill, what sort of strats can you do? Now we tend to do sort of like a P1 push, so push out the outer P1, send maybe 2 players back spawn, and then 2 players in here, or 1 in here, 1 in the mid. Essentially we tend to stack our players towards this side of the map, just because it helps you get the back spawn control. Now this is actually a bit of an outdated map. P4 is no longer here, P4 is now actually on these back tents. Sort of around here, so pushing this side also helps you get some control on P4. If you can get your AR player set up here or on the back sandbags behind there, they can lock down P4, and yeah, that will obviously help with the rotation, because P4... Okay, I think the logic was a bit weird. They decided to move P4 to here. Let me just put a little 4 in here. They decided to move P4 to here from here because this was supposedly too easy to hold, just because you could get a set up ice and top bridge. But then this is, dare I say, even easier to hold. You just need 1 player watching the long push from P1, and 1 player set up watching the bridge and P3 push, and really you've got the hill locked down. It's not very hard to hold, but use that to your advantage. Make sure that you flip the spawns for P4, and yeah, you should be able to rack up a good 50-60 points on that hill. Anyway, I'm going off topic. I should have been talking about breaking P3, which I guess, yeah, I did kind of mention, which is basically we'll send 2 players into the back, 1 player to hit the side, 1 player to hit the mid, a sort of a bit of a pinch. Obviously, if you do manage to break the hill, watch out, because there will almost definitely be a player on the top bridge. It's kind of silly if they don't have a player watching that, so make sure that if you do pick up the kill, you can quickly turn. And yeah, hopefully, if both of you win the kill or whatever happens in there, hopefully one of you can pick up whoever's top bridge. And that should give a bit of cover for your 2 other players to hit the back spawn, and then pick up any enemies that are in the far back here, and then flip the spawns for your team. So on the subject of P4, I was saying this a bit earlier, I guess I kind of already covered, but it's quite easy to hold P4. You're going to want 1 AR set up in the hill or on the back sandbags, and then 1 player set up in the hill close. Yeah, I guess one set up on the back sandbags, they can watch the whole P1 side push. 1 set up here, they can watch the inside door push here from P3, and then you'll just want 1 top bridge to watch the top bridge push, and then again 1 hovering in the spawn that can just sort of help out a bit of everything if they play on this container, or if they play on this close sort of close cubby hole bit here. And essentially, as a team, you can lock this down quite easy. It's not actually too hard to break this. So yeah, you should have quite a bit of success if you can actually flip the spawns prior to P4 starting. Now, last but not least, how would we break P4? Now, our general break for P4 is sort of an ice push. So you have people push on the jump up from the crate, people push on the jump up to the fences. See if you can then maybe double stack top bridge, something like this, something that can give you that nice map pressure to try and flip the spawns, because you do want the spawns at the back here. Chances are there could be an enemy player sitting at the back here on this back rock anchoring the spawns. So yeah, if you can, try and get the wrap round, try and break these spawns. The spawns are over this side for the hill, so if you can get that, you can then slay out, because you can be spawning here if there are people close to the P4 hill. That won't block the spawns. You will still spawn here, so Essentially, we tend to push around this side of the map, break the spawn, and then look towards P4. But yeah, just give it a try in your games and see how it works out. Well, that's about it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to drop a like and check out the playlist in the description. There'll be all of the hardpoint maps, all of the control maps, and all of the S&D maps. Plus, I'll be adding the new Season 1 maps as and when they become sort of into the competitive rotation. So thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully you guys have an absolutely amazing day, and I'll see you all soon. Have a good one.